Why do the foolish things people say or do still rile you up? You tell yourself it's not worth it. But your heart tightens, your jaw clenches, and anger flares again. This isn't a major betrayal, it's the small stuff. A sarcastic tone, an indifferent shrug, a careless remark that shatters your composure. You didn't ask for this argument, but now your peace is gone, stolen by someone who probably doesn't even realize what they've done. Let's be clear, their ignorance isn't your responsibility. Yet, when you react, they control you, not because they're strong, but because you've handed them the power. It's time to end this. You're here because you want to stop getting angry over things that don't matter. You seek control, not over the world, but over how you respond to it. That's true power. That's clarity. That's freedom. Ancient philosophers believed no one can hurt you unless you allow it. Today, we'll apply that mindset to modern life. You'll learn to maintain a calm mind even when the world acts foolishly. You'll respond like a man in command, not dragged down by every petty irritation. You're not alone. Every strong professional grapples with this. If you're tired of losing to trivial nonsense, this is your stand. Like this video, subscribe, and share it with someone reclaiming their peace. Let's dive in. First, spot the pattern before it overtakes you. You don't explode over one foolish comment. You erupt because it's the 50th one you've overlooked, building up unnoticed. That's the trap most professionals fall into. You think you're reacting in the moment, but really, you've been carrying an invisible burden all week. Inner turmoil at work, feeling undervalued at home, a delayed flight, a thoughtless critique. You brush it off time after time, until one more foolish act pushes you over the edge. Boom, you break. But the truth is, anger doesn't appear out of nowhere. It follows a pattern, and you've ignored the signs. Awareness is your first line of defense. Anger isn't random, it's rehearsed. You've practiced it daily by letting small things slide without addressing them. And when you react, it's not strength, it's overflow. You're not in control, you're leaking. Each outburst over something unworthy reinforces that loop. Stress, silence, pressure, explosion, guilt. This vicious cycle continues until you name it, track it, and break it. Picture your mind as a dam. When you ignore small cracks, pressure builds beneath. You don't see the fissures, but they're there. Then one day, a feather touches the wall, and the dam bursts. It's not the feather's fault. The real issue is the cracks you've never inspected. So how do you stop getting angry over foolish things? Start here. Identify the triggers that make you lose control. Track your habits like a strategist. When are you most impatient in traffic? During meetings, mornings with the family, or that particular tone from your spouse? Note it down. Don't assume you'll remember. You won't. Self-awareness isn't passive, it's tactical. That's the difference between reactors and leaders. But here's the mistake many make. They say, I'm hot-tempered, as if it's unchangeable. That's an excuse, not your identity. Anger doesn't define you. It's a habit you've allowed to repeat. The Stoic philosophers had a word for this slavery, not to others, but to your own impulses. A man who can't control his words when provoked is ruled. That's not power, it's weakness hidden behind noise. So flip the script. Instead of trying to control the external world, start observing your internal responses. Pay attention to the moment your body shifts, shoulders tense, breath quickens, jaw tightens. Those are signals. Breathe deeply. Step back. Don't let the trigger pull you. You're not a puppet. You're the architect. And every time you interrupt that cycle, even once, you're laying the first brick of emotional mastery. To stop getting angry over foolish things, don't let stupidity catch you off guard. Anticipate it and be prepared. Recognize it, and when it arrives, don't fear it. Smile, because now you're in charge. Not the emotions, not the nonsense. Just you. Steady, resolute, unshakable. Track those triggers. Don't give away your power. Second, understand what you're truly angry about. It's not the spilled coffee, not the slow driver, not your colleague's tone. The spark isn't what's in front of you, it's what's already inside. Most professionals miss this because we're wired to react, not reflect. When you erupt over something small, it's not about that. It's what it represents: disrespect, loss of control, buried stress, unmet expectations. That's the real battle. The storm beneath the surface. Anger is rarely honest. It shows up with the wrong label, blaming whoever's nearby. But deep down, it's often shame disguised as rage, or fear masked as frustration. You're not yelling at the broken remote. You're yelling because your day is spiraling out of control. Your patience is on its last thread, and life feels like it's slipping through your fingers. You're not snapping at your spouse just because she forgot something. You're snapping because work is consuming you, and no one sees the weight you're carrying. This is what the Stoics grasped. Emotions aren't the enemy, but they lie when unchecked. Pause and ask yourself, what am I really mad about right now? Is it this moment or everything that's been piling up? Most professionals confuse anger with strength, thinking a loud roar is authority. It's not. True authority is naming the truth beneath the noise. It's recognizing that what you call foolishness in others is really your own disappointment. The Stoics believed if you don't master your emotions, they'll master you, and they won't even be truthful. You'll stomp around growling at the world, thinking you're tough. But you're just triggered. Think of it as pressure building in a boiler. If you don't release it, the slightest touch can cause an explosion. That's what happens in your daily life. You hold everything in disrespect, from the boss, the sense of failure as a provider, the exhaustion of always being the strong one. Then a trivial thing ignites it. You explode and later feel it silly. But it's not silly, it's predictable because you've never addressed the root. Don't blame the spark. Fix the fuel source. That means journaling what truly bothers you, not what you pretend does. It's tracking your stress levels instead of hiding them with sarcasm or outbursts. And it means choosing clarity over hasty reactions. You're not weak for feeling overwhelmed. Weakness is letting emotions dictate actions without challenging them. Be the professional who probes his own mind, not the one who blindly rages. Next time you feel the fire rising inside, don't extinguish it, trace its true source. Because when you name the real cause, you reclaim control. Then, anger stops being a prison and becomes a message. Don't just feel it, decode it, and move forward on your terms. 3. Don't personalize everything. 80% of what hurts you was never intended that way. Your boss's email, he's buried in deadlines. Your spouse's silence, she's dealing with something deeper. The driver who cuts you off, he didn't even see you. Most insults you feel are echoes of your own expectations. When you make everything about you, you lose peace easily. That's not strength. That's emotional enslavement. Anger arises when you tie your self-worth to every word, tone, glance. It's like walking around with open wounds and blaming the world for bumping into you. But the man in command doesn't need every gesture to be gentle. He doesn't crumble because someone skipped a good morning. He doesn't rage because someone raises their voice. He knows who he is, and that's sufficient. The Stoics called this power apatheia, not indifference, but self-mastery, the strength to remain unmoved by what's beyond control, not coldness, but command. This is where most professionals err. They treat every minor slight as a personal assault. Their ego is so fragile it shudders at shadows. A complaint at work sends them spiraling, a small misunderstanding at home, and they erupt. But your emotions don't have to be dictated by every offhand remark. Let them speak. Let them act. You're not here to react. You're here to lead yourself first. Imagine a rock in a raging river. Water crashes against it all day, but the rock stands firm. It doesn't take it personally. That's who you become when you stop interpreting everything through a defensive lens. That's who you become when you realize most people are just projecting their own pain, not targeting you. It's not about you. It never was. Now apply this. Next time someone snaps at you, don't fire back. Breathe. Observe. Ask what this really is. And does it have anything to do with me? Mostly, it won't. Journal those moments if needed. You'll spot a pattern. Once you see it, you're no longer a victim of invisible battles that aren't yours. Mastery isn't silence. It's knowing when silence is power. It's choosing not to counter every jab thrown your way. And when you stop reacting to every poke, you start responding with presence. That's the shift from being emotion-driven to mind-led. Don't take everything to heart. That's how boys live. Men know what to absorb and what to let go. Practice daily. When someone speaks down to you, pause. When a stranger is rude, smile. Not because you're weak, but because you're unbreakable, because you know your worth. Don't let the noise rule your mind. Don't let hurt steal your day. Don't personalize it all. Own how you respond. That's where real strength begins. 4. Ask yourself, will this matter in 5 days? Your brain amplifies minor issues when stressed. A colleague's unanswered email, someone cutting you off in traffic, your spouse's offhand comment at dinner. Suddenly, the small becomes war. Your mind spins scenarios, feeds the emotion, and before you know it, you're reacting like a lit fuse. But here's the truth. Many professionals overlook most issues that spark your anger won't even register in a week. That email, ignored by a colleague, forgotten, the driver who cut you off a blur, your spouse's careless remark faded. Yet, in the moment, your mind inflates them into crises. Pause and ask, will this matter in 5 days? If not, let it go. This question is a filter for professionals under pressure. It cuts through the noise of the moment. Your brain thrives on drama when stressed, turning molehills into mountains, but you can train it to see clearly. By measuring the weight of the issue, you reclaim your focus and sidestep pointless battles. The Stoics mastered this. They asked, is this in my control? If not, why let it steal my peace? You can't stop others' foolishness, but you can stop it from ruling you. Next time a trivial slight stings, weigh it against your bigger goals. Does it deserve your energy? Rarely. Protect your calm instead. 5. Practice the pause. When anger surges, don't speak. Don't act. Just wait. This isn't weakness, it's discipline. The space between trigger and response is where your power lies. Most men react instantly, thinking speed equals strength. It doesn't. The strongest professionals choose when to engage. That pause is your fortress. It gives you time to think, to align your actions with your values. Imagine a coworker snaps at you in a meeting. Your instinct is to fire back. Instead, breathe. Count to 3. Ask, is this worth my peace? That moment of restraint builds a stronger, steadier you. Every pause is a rep in the gym of self-control. It trains you to respond, not react. The Stoics called this the art of deliberate action. You're not suppressing anger, you're redirecting it into clarity. In high-stakes roles, where pressure is constant, this skill sets you apart as a leader. Think of the pause as a shield. It protects your dignity from rash words or actions. When a client pushes your buttons or a family member tests your patience, that brief silence is your edge. It lets you choose a response that reflects your strength, not your frustration. Practice it relentlessly. You don't need to win every argument or correct every slight. Sometimes, victory is staying composed while others unravel. A professional who masters the pause doesn't just manage stress, he commands it. He's the calm in the storm, the anchor others lean on. That's the man you're building. This takes work. Your first instinct will always be to react, especially when stretched thin. But each time you pause, you rewire your brain. You shift from being driven by impulse to being guided by intent. Over time, that pause becomes your default, your hallmark of resilience. Try it today. When the next irritation hits, maybe a delayed project, a thoughtless comment, or a traffic jam, stop. Breathe deeply. Let the urge to snap pass. Then respond as the man you respect, not the one caught in the moment. This is how you break the cycle of anger. Each time you do this, you're not just avoiding a blow-up, you're forging a new habit. You're teaching yourself that you control your reactions, not the world around you. This is the Stoic way. Focus on what you can, govern your response, and let the rest fall away. Over weeks, these pauses add up. They become your armor against life's chaos. You're no longer the man who snaps at small slights. You're the professional who stands tall, unshaken, choosing responses that reflect your strength and purpose. That's the power of the pause. There's nothing easy about pausing. In fact, it takes more strength to hold back than to explode. Yelling is simple. Staying composed when every fiber wants to react is the challenge. Those moments build you. Each pause forges discipline. It sharpens resolve. It restores control. So, build the habit of pausing. Make it your default response. Next time anger rises, don't act. Don't speak. Don't rush. Own the moment. Train the reflex to wait. Then, and only then, proceed with clear intent. That's how you stop raging over trivialities. That's how you lead yourself. 6. Set boundaries to prevent disappointment. You don't get angry because others are unreasonable. You get angry because your boundaries are blurry. When you let people wander into your emotional space unchecked, don't be surprised when they trample it. Consider your time, energy, attention. How much is wasted because you haven't defined your limits clearly? We expect others to intuitively know what's acceptable, but clarity is your job, not theirs. Professionals without defined standards react instead of lead. Boundaries aren't walls to block others, they're filters to keep your mind steadfast. A man without boundaries is like a warrior without armor. He feels every blow, takes every hit, and eventually falls. You agree to tasks you hate. Endure conversations that drain you. Tolerate behaviors that wound you. Then wonder why you explode over the smallest things. That anger isn't random. It's the build-up of every minor concession you made, out of fear of seeming rigid or selfish. But remember, passivity doesn't make you kinder. It just makes you more resentful. And no one respects the man who seethes beneath a smiling mask. The Stoics knew this. They didn't control others. They mastered their own limits. Marcus Aurelius didn't waste time pleasing fools. Epictetus didn't beg for approval. They knew where they ended, and the external world began. That's power. And that power starts when you declare, "This is what I accept. This is what I don't." No drama. No arguments. Just discipline. Look closer, reality. Colleagues dump last-minute work on you because you've never said no. Friends make sarcastic jabs at dinner, and you laugh it off instead of addressing it directly. Clients call at 1:00 p.m., and you answer because you fear losing the deal more than losing yourself. That's not strength. It's surrender. And each time you endure, you forfeit a piece of your peace. Setting boundaries isn't rude. It's honest. You teach others how to treat you by what you tolerate. You don't need fights or shouts. You need consistency. I don't take calls after 6 p.m. Don't speak to me that way. That's not my responsibility. Concise. Clear. Firm. Because every boundary you set is a line you draw in the sand, and every defended line builds your emotional discipline. Don't blame others for crossing lines you never drew. Don't expect foolish behavior to stop on its own. Expect yourself to stop tolerating it. Disappointment fades when clarity emerges. If something keeps angering you, don't just vent. Boundary it. Resentment is a signal. Use it. Track it. Then establish your rules. Your rationality is built on your standards. Peace isn't others' duty. It's your boundaries. So draw the lines and stand firm. 7. Use humor as a pressure release valve. When you can laugh at foolishness, you've already won. Not because the situation changed, but because you have. Anger shrinks when laughter enters. You're not avoiding the issue, you're diffusing it. Most professionals navigate life like ticking time bombs. One foolish remark, one absurd email, one reckless driver can set them off. But humor isn't weakness, it's a sharp tool for emotional control. Be clear, you're not laughing because it's okay. You laugh because you've decided your peace matters more than the absurdity. That's power. The Stoics understood this deeply. They didn't bother reforming the circus. They simply refused to be clowns in it. The modern professional, bearing pressures of career, family, and expectations, can't afford to lose composure over the unworthy, and nothing dispels tension like a timely chuckle or a subtle head shake. Recall the last time someone said something so ridiculous, it boiled your blood. Now imagine viewing it as an audience member. The whole scene like a comedy sketch. That's the shift. When you move from participant to observer, from offended to amused, you gain the upper hand. You don't waste energy reacting. You don't fall for the trap. You stay clear-headed, focused, composed. There's a reason top performers use humor under pressure. Firefighters, soldiers, doctors, those who can't afford to freeze or falter, they employ it not to escape, but to ease strain, clear, fatigue, retain humanity amid chaos. You don't need big jokes. The subtlest humor is a silent smile, a whisper of, "You must be kidding," or an internal grimace. It's not apathy. It's mastery. Now, don't confuse this with sarcasm or passive-aggressive digs. That's just leaking emotion disguised as wit. No. What we're talking about is a refined, strategic detachment, a postural shift. You're not triggered. You're trained. You don't feed energy to foolishness. You nod. Breathe deeply. Perhaps smile faintly, then move on. That's how warriors operate. They don't rage at every pebble in the path. They step over and continue the mission. In a world quick to explode, restraint becomes rare. But humor is your keen weapon. It reminds you not every battle needs fighting. Not every fool needs a response. Sometimes, the strongest move is to laugh, shake your head, and pursue your purpose. That's control. That's emotional strength. So next time the world throws you a "you've got to be kidding" moment, don't erupt. Smile. You're not here to entertain their chaos. You're here to master your calm. Respond as the man you aspire to be. How you handle it builds or breaks the person you're forging. When someone spouts nonsense, acts from ego or ignorance, you have a choice: fuel the fire or forge control. Most professionals don't realize how easily their power slips away, not to kings, but to clowns. You let a fool at work, a bad driver, a chatterbox at dinner, pull your emotional strings like a marionette. That's not strength. It's submission, masked as fury. People think the real man reacts swiftly, strikes back hard, never yields. But truth is, the strongest man in the room doesn't rush to respond. He chooses his reply. He doesn't lose it just because others did first. That's the Stoic shift, denying the external world control over your internal state. You can't build muscle with one workout and expect it to last. Same with emotional discipline. It's repetition, habit, choice. And every time you take the bait, every time you lose your cool or blow up, you're training weakness. Now reverse it. Imagine each provocation as a pause opportunity. You command the silence. You view the foolishness not with rage, but with distance. That's not indifference. It's dominance. Like stepping out of the storm while others get drenched. You become the untriggered one, the unexplained, the steadfast amid swirling chaos. This isn't passivity. It's strategy. Anger may be justified, but blind rage is just noise. Are you building your character or burning it with each response? Instead of exploding, you contain. You hold firm. You decide, is this worth my energy? Does it align with the man I'm becoming? Your inner voice grows louder as you choose purposeful responses over emotional ones. In real life, this plays out in meetings, traffic, relationships. You either escalate tension or become the steady anchor. You either join the foolishness or rise above it. Picture the father entering home chaos, kids screaming, spouse stressed, phone ringing, the old you irritated, loud, reactive, the new you calm, poised, grounded, because you no longer react from ego. You're leading with identity. You're not just managing the moment, you're demonstrating mastery. Your strongest version is quiet, focused, unmoved by emotions. And it all starts with one choice. Respond as the man you want to be remembered as, not the one who crumbled under pressure. So next time a trivial thing irks you, don't yield. Don't give it space. Hold your ground. Think of the man you're training to become. Then act as if he's already in the room. Every time anger surges, life is testing your discipline, not to punish you, but to hone you. The truth is, you won't stop getting angry overnight. But you can train your response like a muscle. You can choose stillness over flames, clarity over chaos. The professional who finds peace isn't the one who avoids stress. He's the one who faces it with control. So remember, how you respond shapes who you become. You're not just managing emotions, you're forging character. Emotional control isn't weakness. It's true strength. And it's forged through consistent small actions, daily awareness, clear intentions, thoughtful responses. Use what we've shared today as your training ground. Note your triggers each day. Breathe before speaking. Ask if your impending reaction aligns with the man you aim to be. That's the path. That's authentic power. If this message resonates, carry it through your week. Practice it. Hone it. Own it. And if you've had moments where anger won or where you chose calm instead, share your story in the comments. Your growth could ignite someone else's.